The Northwest Caucasian languages, also called West Caucasian, Abkhazo-Adyghean, or sometimes Pontic, are a group of languages spoken in the northwestern Caucasus region, chiefly in three Russian republics, the disputed territory of Abkhazia, and Turkey, with smaller communities scattered throughout the Middle East. Main features: phonetics. The entire family is characterized by a paucity of phonemic vowels coupled with rich consonantal systems that include many forms of secondary articulation. Ubykh, for example, had both a minimal number of vowels, and probably the largest inventory of consonants outside southern Africa. Linguistic reconstructions suggest that both the richness of the consonantal systems and the poverty of the vocalic systems may be the result of a historical process, whereby vowel features such as labialization and palatalization were reassigned to adjacent consonants. For example, ancestral asterisk ki may have become ke, and asterisk ku may have become ke, losing the old vowels asterisk I and asterisk u, but gaining the new consonants k and k. The linguist John Carlerusso has further postulated that some instances of this may also be due to the leveling of an old grammatical class prefix system, on the basis of pairs like Ubykh e versus Kabardyan and Abkhaz e hard. This same process is claimed by some to lie behind the development of labiovelas in Proto-Indo-European, which once neighbored Proto-NWC. Grammar. Northwest Caucasian languages have rather simple noun systems, with only a handful of cases at the most, coupled with highly agglutinative verbal systems that can contain almost the entire syntactic structure of the sentence. All finite verbs are marked for agreement with three arguments: absolutive, ergative, and indirect object, and there are also a wide range of applicative constructions. There is a split between dynamic and stative verbs, with dynamic verbs having an especially complex morphology. A verb's morphemes indicate the subjects and objects, person, place, time, manner of action, negative, and other types of grammatical categories. All Northwest Caucasian languages are left branching, so that the verb comes at the end of the sentence and modifiers such as relative clauses precede a noun. Northwest Caucasian languages do not generally permit more than one finite verb in a sentence, which precludes the existence of subordinate clauses in the Indo-European sense. Equivalent functions are performed by extensive arrays of nominal and participial non-finite verb forms, though Abkhaz appears to be developing limited subordinate clauses, perhaps under the influence of Russian classification. There are 5 recognized languages in the Northwest Caucasian family: Abkhaz, Abkhaza, Kabardyan or East Caucasian, Adyghe, West Caucasian, and Ubykh. They are classified as follows: Abkhazo-Adyghean, Abkhaz, Circassian, Adyghe, Kabardyan, Ubykh. Circassian dialect continuum. Circassian is a covered term for the series of dialects that include the literary languages of Adyghe and Kabardyan. Adyghe is one of the more widely spoken Northwest Caucasian languages. It has 500,000 speakers spread throughout Russia and the Middle East, 280,000 in Turkey, 125,000 in Russia, where it is official, in the Republic of Abkhazia, 45,000 in Jordan, 25,000 in Syria, 20,000 in Iraq, and 4,000 in Israel. There is even a small community in the United States. 4 main dialects are recognized: Temirgoy, Abkhazic, Shapsuf and Braduf, as well as many minor ones such as Hakuchi, spoken by the last speakers of Ubykh in Turkey. Adyghe has a large number of consonants, between 50 and 60 consonants in the various Adyghe dialects, but it has only 3 phonemic vowels. Its consonants and consonant clusters are less complex than the Abkhazo-Adyghean dialects. Kabardyan has just over 1 million speakers, 550,000 in Turkey and 450,000 in Russia, where it is an official language of the republics of Kabardino-Balkaria and Karachay-Cherkassia. Kabardyan has the least number of consonants of any northwestern Caucasian language, with 48, including some rather unusual ejective fricatives and a small number of vowels. Kabardyan itself has several dialects, including Terek, the literary standard, and Bosni, which is intelligible with both Terek and Adyghe. Unlike the Adyghe, Kabardyan lost many of the consonants that existed in the Proto-Circassian language. For example, the consonants sh per second, tsdz became f, v, f, z, c, f, v. Abkhazo-Adyghean dialect continuum Abkhaz. Abkhaz has 100,000 speakers in Abkhazia, where it is the official language, and an unknown number of speakers in Turkey. It has been a literary language from the beginning of the 20th century. Abkhaz and Abkhazo may be said to be dialects of the same language, but each preserves phonemes which the other has lost. Abkhaz is characterized by unusual consonant clusters and one of the world's smallest vowel inventories. It has only two distinctive vowels, an open vowel a and a mid-vowel e. Next to palatalized labialized consonants, a is realized as or and e as or. There are three major dialects: Abzhui and Bzyp in Abkhazia and Sads in Turkey. Abkhazo has some 45,000 speakers, 35,000 in Russia and 10,000 in Turkey. It is a literary language, but nowhere official. It shares with Abkhaz the distinction of having just two phonemic vowels. Abkhazo is phonologically more complex than Abkhaz, and is characterized by large consonant clusters, similar to those that can be found in Georgian. There are three major dialects: Tapunt and Ashka. Some are partially intelligible with Abkhaz. Abik forms a third branch, with parallels to both Adyghe and Abkhaz. The population switched to speaking Adyghe, and Abik became extinct on October 7, 1992, with the death of Tevfik Senc. A dialectal division within Abik was suspected by Georges Dumézil, but the divergent form he described in 1965 was never investigated further. With 81 consonants, Abik had perhaps the largest inventory in the world aside from the KXA and two families of southern Africa with their extensive system of clicks. There are pharyngealized consonants and a four-way place contrast among sibilants. It was the only Northwest Caucasian language never to have a literary form. Relationship to other language families. A number of factors make the reconstruction of the Northwest Caucasian proto-language problematic. Most roots in Northwest Caucasian languages are monosyllabic, and many are single consonants. The sound changes are often intricate, and a large number of consonants and sibilant contrasts provides further complexity. Ablaut was extensive and still plays some part in the modern languages. Borrowings between languages of the family were frequent. Extensive homophony occurs in the modern languages. For these reasons, Proto-Northwest Caucasian is widely accepted as being one of the most difficult proto-languages to deal with, and it is therefore more difficult than most to relate to other families. Connections to Hattic. Some scholars have seen affinities between the Northwest Caucasian family and the extinct Hattic language. Hattic was spoken in Anatolia, in the area around ancient Hattusa, until about 1800 BC, when it was replaced by the Indo-European Hittite language. The name Hatto-Iberian was proposed by Georgian historian Simon Janashir for a superfamily comprising the South Caucasian languages. languages. Other Caucasian language groups, Hattic and other languages of ancient Anatolia. Many Northwest Caucasian family names have prefixes like Hath or Hatti, and one of the well-known Adyghe tribes has the name Hattiquite plus meaning Hattison. Connections to Indo-European. It has been conjectured that the Northwest Caucasian languages may be genetically related to the Indo-European family, at a time depth of perhaps 12,000 years before the present. This hypothesized proto-language is called Proto-Pontic, but is not widely accepted. There does at least appear to have been extensive contact between the two proto-languages, and the resemblances may be due to this influence. North Caucasian family. Many linguists join the Northwest and Northeast Caucasian languages into a North Caucasian family, sometimes simply called Caucasian, which is thought to be unrelated, albeit heavily influenced by the northern neighbors. This hypothesis has perhaps been best illustrated by Sergei A. Starostin and Sergei Nikolaev, who present a set of phonological correspondences and shared morphological structure. However, there is no consensus that the relationship has been demonstrated, and many consider the correspondences to be spurious for the reasons mentioned above. See the article on North Caucasian languages for details, as well as the external links below. Higher-level connections. A few linguists have proposed even broader relationships, of which the Dean-Caucasian hypothesis is perhaps the most popular. Dean-Caucasian links the North Caucasian, Basque, Urushaski, Yeniseian, Sino-Tibetan, and Nardine families. However, this is an even more tentative hypothesis than Nostratic, which attempts to relate Indo-European, Uralic, Kartvelian, Altaic, etc., and which is widely considered to be undemonstrated. Additional reading. Starostin, S.A. ed. A North Caucasian Etymological Dictionary. Caravan Books. ISBN 9780882061177.